Hello everybody, and welcome back to Occult Perspectives. It's been quite a while since I posted a video, and I think we are already up to about 84 subscribers or so, so that's awesome. I have just been so busy moving my stuff into my new place. Me and my fiance now have a place together, so this will be our bedroom. This is going to be set up a little more organized in the near future. I've got the bookshelf and the lamp behind me still, but we'll have like a desk set up and I'll be able to roll back and forth in here and pull up information on the computer or the TV or whatever else I need to use. So for this video, I am going to continue with the Divine Comedy, Dante's Inferno. Particularly, I already went ahead and did 2 videos explaining the introductory elements of the story, as well as kind of going into the first couple cantos in Inferno. But I went ahead and made some notes so that I can give you a little more detail as to what happens in each canto. I like to pick out kind of the interesting details of each canto, but I try not to get too caught up in certain aspects of the story. I just try to pull the more esoteric bits of information out and use that if possible. So in Canto 1, go back and watch parts 1 and 2, the Divine Comedy, Dante's Inferno. If you have not already, this is part 3. Canto 1, Dante's wandering through the dark forest, and it's in the middle of my days. I shall go to the gates of hell. And this talks about the middle of my days as the middle of his lifespan. So he's probably hit 35 or something like that, roughly. It just symbolizes the soul, basically this story symbolizing the soul that gets lost in the woods. So Dante, he's wandering through the woods, the darkness of life, and he needs to come to the light. He needs to find the light. And that's what this whole story is about, ascending, as I've talked about in previous videos. Moving on. Let's see, note 2. I made a note about note 2. So we're going back to Canto 1. I know I made it to probably about Canto 3, possibly, in the first 2 Dante videos, but we're going back and just covering everything. The halfway of our life's way, which he says in the beginning, midway along the road of human lifespan of 70 years. Psalms, quote, Dante's journey through the afterlife is set in 1300, his own 35th year. In the middle of my days I shall go to the gates of hell, as we said before. Note 2, spiritual sleep. Note 11, I'm sorry, I misread that, reading it as if it was Roman numerals. I cannot clearly say how I had entered these woods, or the wood. I was so full of sleep. And this equates to spiritual sleep if I go to note 11. Let's see. And that would be on Canto 1, that is line 10 and 11 that I just read. And then I'm going to go to the notes in the back and talk about spiritual sleep. Spiritual sleep happens when we're not really following our paths. We're allowing too many things to intervene with our divine path. Once again, knock on wood, wherever wood, here we go, knock on wood, but I've almost reached day 3 of no cigarettes. Cigarettes is a thing that would give us, spiritual cloudiness. It's one of those things that takes away our powers, our inherent powers that are already there. We're connected to Source in those ways, and we don't have to try and use certain tools like cigarettes. They would actually bring us down. They bring our vibration down. We know cigarettes are bad for us. They're just not that good. Okay, so going on, note 2, note 11, sleep, an image of torpor, the loss of intellectual, moral, and spiritual awareness. So that's what happens when you don't follow your path and you're just falling into this rut, and you're allowing every external force, this is particularly important with the I am sayings to affect you, rather than you being the cause and the outside being the effect. Everything on the outside is being the cause, and you are affected. You are becoming the effect. So that's what the spiritual sleep is on line 11, 10 and 11. Note 17, what do we got going on there? I looked on high and saw its shoulders clothed already by the rays of that same planet, which serves to lead men straight along all roads. It made me think of, if we read that same planet, which is line 17 that I just read, the sun, the fourth of the planets revolving round the earth in Ptolemaic astronomy, often used as a symbol of God and divine light and grace. Here it represents guidance from above along the true upward path, the hill, and this makes sense. It's a profound connection with Taparith. The hill is the true path, the true upward path. With the guidance from above, the height to heaven is attained through the heart. Passing the threshold of death. That looks like that might be for the next note that I have, actually. Let me go ahead and see. Aha, here we go. So here on the tree of life is Taparith, what we were just talking about, and that equates to the sun. And here's the middle path. Only the middle path, ultimately leads up to here. It's called the straight and the narrow path. We have, effects from both sides. We have both wisdom and understanding, or mildness and severity. Jachin, or Yakin, and Boaz, however you want to look at these two pillars. It's always has different names in each tradition, but it's always talking about the same thing. Moving onward. Note 26. And just as he, with exhausted breath, having escaped from sea to shore, turns back to watch the dangerous waters he has quit, so did my spirit, still fugitive, turn back to look intently at the pass that never has let any man survive. What is this pass? Is it passing the threshold of death? That was the note that I had written. Yes, the pass is the place of mortal danger. Continuing. Something in line 30. Moving again, I tried the lonely slope. My firm foot always was the one below. There's an esoteric allusion there that some of you might recognize. And we're talking about the living resurrection here. You can't look back, and this is the same theme when he goes into purgatory, in Purgatorio. You're not allowed to look back. When you have the resurrection, the living resurrection, everything will be cleansed of the past. It talks in, it's either Purgatory or Paradiso, where there's two rivers, the river of forgetfulness and the river of remembrance. And when you bathe in the river of forgetfulness, you forget all your sins. But then when you bathe or drink the water of the remembrance, you remember all the virtues and all the good things. And we'll get to that later on. I have finally read the whole Divine Comedy. Paradiso is amazing. There's so much esoteric gold to be attained within that story. Even if if you're whatever mesoteric tradition, if you're a magician, if you're a Buddhist, whatever you are, there's principles in this book that, even though Dante's Inferno has a more Christian reflection, or it's that 1300s more medieval view of Christianity, some of the deeper, esoteric lessons that transcend the boundaries of those, dogmatic views, whatever they might be. It's transcending the words, basically, in Paradiso. It's taking you to this, and Dante continues to, his poetry is really good, but it's not able to express the divine inspirations and guidance that he gains in Paradiso. So that, the end of the story is just really profound, and it teaches you the collective unity of consciousness of all things, and how we rise into our proper places and such, our spirits, our true homes in heaven. It's beautiful, beautiful stuff. Getting a little ahead of myself, though. I just wanted to throw that out there that I did finish that. And Paradiso, if you were to read one of these 3 parts, I would recommend that you read Paradiso. But we're going to try and work through all of this if I can stop getting distracted, because I tend to do that pretty much every video. I'm just trying to get as much information out there as I possibly can. And we were just talking about, we go back to line 30, and I've got note 30 here too. My firm foot, the lower foot, taking Dante's weight in the steep ascent, sometimes interpreted symbolically as his intellect as opposed to his weaker faculty, his will. That's interesting. If we go on to line 32, I'm in the wrong, okay. That's where I'm actually working on my notes. I'm in Canto 5 right now, but we are working on Canto 1. And it's funny because I've read all these already now, so it's like there's so much information in here. It's really, even if you take pretty good notes, it's hard to keep a track of everything that's going on. There's so much going on. It's one gigantic story. I would say it's the ultimate ritual is this of, if you're going to teach the ascent of the soul, if you could put out some kind of ritual that was basically duplicating the whole Dante's Inferno story, or the Divine Comedy in general, it would be incredible. The initiate would learn, the whole story of, rising from the ashes, rising from the sins, learning about the sins and the more carnal ways, and then transcending into our spiritual nature, which is what any divine partner, really any divine, if you have a student or something, this is what you really want them to aspire to. You can be a black magician, you can be a gray magician, but those paths only serve you for so long. And in the end, you find that it's your divine connection to source. You must rise, with your original divine parent, which is your own original divine consciousness too. We will always be looking back at ourselves from this parent source. Once we attain this height of perception and intuition and awareness again, we will see the whole story unfold for what it really is. Okay. This video is taking a lot longer than I thought it was going to, because I did get a lot of cool notes in here. But you know what? I'm not in a hurry anymore with these videos. I really just want to have fun with them. I want to take my time, and I want you all to enjoy the information that you're getting out of these. Continue to, comment. We're getting closer to 100 subscribers now. I just want everyone to find peace of mind is really what I want. We can dig for knowledge, our whole lives, but let's just learn together, let's grow together, and let's heal together. Like, most importantly of all, I think that's the thing we could all really work on. That way we can make the jump this time. I think this time we do make it, guys. This is a timeline where we're not going to have a problem. We're going to be just fine. Okay, let's move just a little bit forward here in Canto 1, and then I'll stop this video, and I'll have to do another one soon. So the leopard, line 31, the true upward path blocked. We were just talking about that. And almost where the hillside starts to rise, look there, a leopard. And the leopard is blocking the path. It's covered with a spotted hide, and it is lust. And in Canto 5, we'll start learning more about lust, because that's the actual circle of hell that equates to lust, and how to work with lust in our lives and transmute that into a divine connection with the other person of source that we choose to have that connection with. Once we've healed and once we've grown as individuals, we learn the lessons and we move on, and that's how it works. Let's go on. The leopard impeded his ascent, that I had often to turn back again. The time was the beginning of the morning, the sun was rising down, fellowship with the same stars that had escorted it. The whole note here, I probably already read it in one of the other videos, but I'll read it again. The same stars, Aries, the sign of the zodiac in which the sun rises in springtime, the time of the year in which God had created the world in the beginning. The start of the poems, set on a spring morning in 1300, may be dated either to the day before Good Friday, 8th of April, or to 25th of March, the traditional anniversary of the creation of the world. the incarnation, the conception of Christ as God and man, and the crucifixion of Christ, and also the first day of this centenary year in the Florentine calendar. And as we know, these dates probably, you know, equate to older belief systems too that came like pre-Christian belief systems, because they use a lot of the same dates and stuff, you know, and it's just like the seasonal equinoxes. We learned from guys like Santos Bonacci that like all of this is astrotheology, like, and Dante's showing you in this, Aries is the first, it's the first one in the series of zodiacs, you know. It starts in like March, springtime, yes, to 25th of March must be when that zodiac, as it says in the note, starts. So that's cool. But yeah, it's talking about astrology, and here in all the Christian stories, all the poems and stories really are just the as above, so below stories and hermetics. Like what's happening in the stars is what's happening here in the physical plane. And there's old stories, there's new stories, but they're all kind of telling you the same thing. Let's see. The time was the beginning of the morning, the sun was rising now in fellowship with the same stars that had escorted it, when divine love first moved those things of beauty, so that the hour in the gentle season gave me good cause for hopefulness on seeing that beast before me with his speckled skin, but hope was hardly able to prevent the fear I felt when I beheld a lion. And the lion represents pride. Alrighty, so I think that covers everything for now. We didn't get too far, and I didn't even really catch up to where I was in previous Dante videos, but that's okay, because like as I said before, I'm taking my time on this YouTube video. There's no rush. Before this video is over though, I did want to mention there was something weird that happened the other day. All of my YouTube videos did get taken down about a week ago, and they were gone all day. You couldn't really access them. What I need to do is start backing them onto some kind of external hard drive, which as soon as I find one, I'll start doing that. But really, these videos don't serve me too much. It's nice to watch back and like relearn from myself and like try to remember all the facts and all the data I've gathered. And that's why this YouTube video works nice as like an archive of all this information, so that I can access it in the future, you can access it in the future, and if it all just disappears, that's kind of disappointing. But it's okay, because all this information is just it's just me retelling it. It's not really new information. I'm just bringing it all together for you, and then hoping that things that you're learning on your path kind of like line up with what I'm teaching in the videos, and that we can all just teach each other. So hopefully my videos do not get lost again, or nothing weird like that happens. But as my buddy Ethan said, I should probably start putting them on an external hard drive. Alrighty guys, I think it's time to end this video. I've got a few things to do before going into work. It was awesome doing this again. I forgot how much I like to do this. Forces me to get up and talk esotericism and get some ideas rolling and get my own brain functioning and working for real before I go into work. The true work is the great work, and those of you who are my closest friends know that you are doing that. Those of you who are my loved ones, whether you're my closest inner circle or just somebody I care about in passing and coming and going, you're my brother, you're my sister. Let's do this. Let's do the great work and keep it going. So take care, everybody. Peace and blessings.